What's up, my comic comrades? Ever since Superman issue 19 introduced Lois Lane as the brand new Superwoman, fighting crime alongside Superman, we've all been wondering how the heck did she get Kryptonian superpowers? Yes, we assume she got them when powers restored from the Amazos got mixed up during the Absolute Power event, but it is yet to be confirmed or explained until now. That's right, Superman writer Josh Williamson and DC just released the Superwoman special one-shot, which finally tells us exactly how Lois Lane got her powers. So today we're giving you the origin of Lois Lane as Superwoman. The issue starts off with Lois trying to write a story about herself, but she just can't figure out how to start it. She literally buries her head in her desk saying, "What is wrong with me? Why can't I do this?" At that point, Jimmy Olsen comes in asking, "You okay, Chief?" She replies, "Good night, Jimmy." Right after, Kara and Lana come in saying, "Burning the midnight oil again? I think you need to blow off some steam. We're headed to Bibbo's. Why don't you join us?" Lois says, "I can't. I have way too much work to do." Both Kara and Lana respond, "Totally get it. Maybe next time." But then Lana says, "Wait, Kara, you forgot to ask about the other thing." Kara replies, "Oh yeah, duh. Do you want to fight crime with us?" Lois smirks at them, and then we get a double-page spread of all three of them fighting crime and saving lives. Afterward, they fly to Paris to get Lois's favorite coffee. We then see Kara nudging Lois with her elbow as they sit on top of the Eiffel Tower saying, "Hey, so real talk. Why were you yelling at yourself in your office?" Lois asks, "What are you talking about?" Both Kara and Lana say, "We have super hearing." Lois sighs saying, "I never want to be the story. But in this case, I'm living one. It's weird and stressful. When I used to get stressed, I could just write. But now, who am I writing for? If I ever got stuck like this, I would pitch Perry what I wanted to write, and talking with him would help shape it. But now he's mayor and I'm the editor-in-chief. I barely write. I'm mostly editing, and I guess I'm just suffering from writer's block." Kara tells Lois, "Okay, how about this? Pitch us. Pretend we're Perry and tell us what you're thinking." Lois laughs and says, "All right, I guess I'll start from the beginning." And this is where she lays out her origin story.
All right, hold up. Let's pause right there because while we're still enjoying hoodie weather here in Texas, in the wise words of Hal Stark, winter is coming. In fact, for some of you, Mother Nature's frozen rage has already arrived, which is why you need to know about today's affiliate partners, Bass Pro and Cabela's. They actually just sent us over a winter prep package starting with this dope barren tree fire pit from Patina Products. I gotta tell you, chilling by a fire will level up almost any fall or winter night, but I also really dig the rustic look and design on this fire pit. It reminds me of the great national park lodges in the Northwest, which I'm a huge fan of. But winter can also drop the people's elbow on your car, and if you've ever had your battery die in the middle of nowhere on a really cold night, you already know why this Noco Genius Boost 2000 amp jump starter power pack is a must-have. This sucker is compact, portable, and delivers up to 40 jump starts on a single charge, but it also has a built-in LED flashlight and a power bank to charge electronics like your phone. Lastly, you also need something to keep your chesticles warm in situations like that, and Bass Pro and Cabela's have that covered too. Like this Cabela's Instinct winter jacket for men, which is insanely comfortable. It's like being wrapped in a llama. It's glorious. So take winter by the snowballs. Click our link in the description below to head over to Bass Pro and Cabela's online and gear up to live your best polar life.
Okay, jumping back to the issue, Lois starts detailing her story to Kara and Lana by recapping the events of Absolute Power, where a few weeks prior, Amanda Waller stole all the metahumans' powers using super Amazo robots. She then explains, but everyone fought back and stormed her base of operations on Gamora. I was at the Daily Planet taking back the news. Waller had used AI to hack our systems and turn the public against superheroes, but now that her attention was on the fight, we were able to report the truth. I had to sit and wait for updates on the battle, but I had stolen an experimental armor developed by Lex Luthor. I took it off after helping Superman, but the armor had somehow connected to Waller's super Amazos. I could see they were about to attack the heroes. I couldn't stay on the sidelines. Waller hurt my son and my husband. So Lois put the armor on and went to help fight. As she was flying as fast as she could to Gamora, her suit freaked out and short-circuited at the same exact moment the heroes shut down Waller's super Amazos, which also affected her armor. The shock caused Lois to pass out and free fall to the ground. The next thing she knows, she's waking up without the armor and back in her normal clothes on top of the Daily Planet. She then sees Jimmy Olsen walk on the roof while making out with his new girlfriend, the Silver Banshee. Lois calls Jimmy's name, which startles him, and Banshee elbows Jimmy, saying, "You said no one would be here." He replies, "Sorry, I forgot Lois and Clark come up here sometimes." He then asks Lois, "Where's Clark?" But Lois, not knowing how she got there, leaves saying, "I don't know, but the roof is all yours." Back in the present, Lois tells Kara and Lana, "Then I found out Clark and the other heroes took down Waller and her army." Kara asks, "And Superman wasn't the one who saved you?" Lois replies, "That was my first thought, but no. Clark's theory is that the armor had some kind of failsafe that returned me to Metropolis. Before he could really investigate, he got pulled into the Phantom Zone, and I went back to work at the Daily Planet." Lois continues saying, "So I went back to work as editor-in-chief of the Daily Planet, but I wasn't sure if that would be a title I kept since Perry was still running for mayor at the time and hadn't actually won." We then see her in her office where she loses one of her favorite pens under the couch. She lifts the couch over her head, flexing her new powers. After this, Lois goes to Supercorps to talk with Mercy to see if she could help figure out how she got her powers. Kara in the present says, I can't believe you went to Mercy and not to us. Lois, while rescuing kids from a burning building, replies, you were busy. I suspected whatever was happening to me had to be because of the armor I found in Supercore. Lana says, but Mercy used to work for Lex Luthor. Lois replies, I know, but you should have seen her during Waller's attack. She was making trips from Metropolis to the fortress. Mercy risked her life to save others. She's earned our trust. Then back in the past, we see Mercy running tests on Lois saying, clearly you have powers, but what kind, I don't know yet. When the Super Amazos exploded, your armor was still connected to Waller's network at the time of the power reversal. You must have gotten some powers from that. Superman asked us to find the armor after what happened, but my team was never able to. My guess is it was destroyed. Lena Luthor, the daughter of Lex Luthor who works at Supercore, then says to Lois, it's really interesting, Lois. Your skin shows your cells have been supercharged, but we don't know if you'll be able to continue to absorb our yellow sun's radiation the way Superman's Kryptonian body does. Mercy adds, and until we know more, do not use these powers. But of course, Lois doesn't listen, and on her walk home, she saves the chief of police from gunfire, pushing him out of the way and taking out all the perpetrators shooting at the police. In the process, she realizes she got shot, but the bullet just bounced right off her. She picks up the bullet and tells Lana and Kara in the present, I used my speed to save Chief Krakoa and stop the bank robbers, but wasn't faster than a speeding bullet. Lana says, that's how you found out you were invulnerable. Lois then tells Lana and Kara, I keep the bullet with me to remind me how dangerous this all is. As much as these powers are fun, I could get hurt or worse. Back in the past, we see Lois waiting for Clark to get home to tell him that she too now has superpowers. When Clark gets home, he asks, why are you wearing glasses? She says, dramatic effect. No, seriously, Clark, there's something I need to tell you. She takes off her glasses and goes out to the balcony, ripping open her shirt in classic Superman fashion to reveal a Superman crest saying, I'm Superwoman. Clark just looks at her confused, saying, okay. Lois responds, you seem confused. Watch. She then starts flying, hovering in front of their balcony, saying, don't worry, Smallville, you don't have to catch me this time. Clark, shocked, says, I have questions. As they embrace, she tells them, fly with me, which they do. After this, we see Clark take her to the Justice League Watchtower so that Mr. Terrific and the Atoms can give their scientific opinion on the matter. Mr. Terrific tells them, I agree with Mercy's data from Supercore. You have the same powers as Superman. Remarkable. Ray Palmer, one of the Atoms, says, we've had metahumans like Fire and Ice with powers swapped, or Barry who lost his. Ryan Choi interjects, but this is different. You almost have a limit, it seems. Mr. Terrific jumps back in, saying, this poses a fascinating question, Miss Lane. Do you use the powers knowing you could burn them out, or not use them and just hang on to them for a rainy day? Lois basically says, I can't just stand on the sidelines. I can use these powers to help people. Superman says, I know the feeling. Lois then asks, what's next? And what's next is training, as Superman trains Lois on how to use her abilities like super strength, frost breath, x-ray vision, and flight. After some training, we even see Lois help the Super family take down Brimstones, with her son John Kent being shocked that she too now has superpowers. He asks, how long has this been going on? She says, still new, as she punches a Brimstone in the face. Back in the present, Kara says, I think I know why you're having writer's block. You're not being honest with yourself. After years of being on the sidelines, you don't want to admit that you love having these powers. Lois says, you're right. I know they're a privilege, and I feel guilty to enjoy them this much. Kara and Lana then fly off saying, welcome to the club. Have a good night. We'll have to do this again. Lois then uses her super speed to change back into her normal clothes and return to her office, where she types up her story, realizing the writer's block was due to her not being honest with herself. She really does enjoy being Superwoman. Once she's done writing, she hears someone say, help please, with her super hearing, and then flies off to help them. But the issue isn't over, as the epilogue gives us some pretty huge reveals. The epilogue panels intercut between Somewhere in Deep Space and the Supercore building, as we see Lena tell Mercy, you lied. We found Lois's armor. Not only that, we saw that yes, the armor was connected to the Super Amazos, but it's bigger than that. The armor was meant for space travel and was reaching out for signals in deep space. Why not tell Lois? Mercy replies, trust me, this is for the best, Lena. Lois can never know why Lex Luthor built that armor. We then see Ray Palmer and Ryan Choi talking, and as we see a ship emerge from a portal in space, Ryan asks, so I have a question. When Waller's Super Amazos were destroyed, some of the powers were mixed up. Ray says, yeah. Ryan asks, you see the problem here? Ray replies, I do. On the next panel, we see a close-up of the mysterious spacecraft as Ray continues to say, powers at Superman's level are extremely rare, and everyone who has powers like his is accounted for. They all still have their powers. To which Ryan responds, exactly. So that begs the question, whose powers did Superwoman steal? And on the final page, we see that the emerging mystery ship is carrying General Zod, as Ryan finishes his question by saying, and what happens when they find out she took them? This is an amazing amazing reveal, because for those of you who have been following the Superman title, specifically issues 19 and 20, you know that in issue 20, Time Trapper, who was revealed to be the highly evolved Doomsday from the distant future, teased the return of General Zod, and that the resulting confrontation would cost Superman his right eye, which is just a wild setup and tease that this story is about to take things to 11. Fast forward to the final page of the Superwoman special, and Zod has not only appeared, but it also sounds like Lois Lane has accidentally stolen her Kryptonian powers from him when Waller and the Amazos were destroyed. Absolutely crazy. Let me tell you something, Josh Williamson is doing the Lord's work right now at DC and has laid the foundation for one of the best Superman stories in a long time, and he's doing it within the Superman title. Now, the next obvious question is whether Zod is fully powerless or if he has someone else's abilities, like maybe the Flash's connection to the Speed Force, which Flash didn't get back at the end of Absolute Power and is currently still a mystery as to who did get it. So if they did end up with Zod, that would be very, very bad, but also so good. Anyway, this was a solid origin issue. It pretty much confirmed what we were all guessing, that her powers were given to her when Waller's Amazos were destroyed and all the metahumans' powers were redistributed back to them, although not all were dispersed correctly or even at all, and others were just mixed up. So Lois is part of that bunch, but the added twist is the Supercore mech she was wearing when the power transfer happened, and the reveal during the epilogue that the suit was, for reasons unknown, built by Lex Luthor for space travel, connected to Waller's Super Amazos, and was reaching out for signals in deep space. A transmission that turned out to be communicating with General Zod, and somehow resulted in Lois Lane gaining Zod's Kryptonian powers when the Amazos were destroyed. At least, that's what's implied. Now, with Mercy secretly in possession of the mech suit and all the knowledge, it'll be interesting to see how Superman responds when he learns she's been keeping these things from him, especially considering he's already been very concerned about Lois's safety due to the uncertainty of her powers. And the thought he could lose her has already caused him to lose his cool a bit, like we saw when he fought Doomsday in Superman issue 20. In fact, in Superman 19, while he was fighting Atomic Skull, Mercy comments on a past incident where Superman's red levels started to max out. So here's an interesting thought. What if Lois actually got Kal-El's powers when the Amazos were destroyed, and Superman is the one that ended up with Zod's powers, which is slowly changing or corrupting him without him realizing it? Maybe not, but it's definitely a very interesting possibility. Anyway, that wraps up the origin of Lois Lane as Superwoman, so now it's your turn to sound off. What did you guys think about the issue and where things are going in the Superman title overall? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Other than that, we'll see you next time when we talk about all things comics.